This is really good, guys.
What up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. Hopefully you guys are having a fantastic day. Welcome to episode 1 of my baking series. Today we are going to be making banana chocolate chip bread from all these lovely ingredients in front of us. What you guys are going to need for this recipe is 1.5 cups of flour, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1 cup of sugar, 1 cup of semi-sweet chocolate chips, 1/2 cup of unsalted butter at room temperature, 2 eggs, 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla extract, 2 tablespoons of fresh lemon juice, and last but not least, 1 cup of mashed up ripe banana. So before we do anything or actually start getting our hands dirty, what I need you to go ahead and do is preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. So while your oven is preheating, you want to grab a medium-sized bowl, and now we're going to be mixing in our flour, our baking soda, our baking powder, and our salt all into one bowl. In your medium-sized bowl, you're going to take 1.5 cups of flour. So that is the first cup right there. We're gonna measure just a little bit more, and there's the half mark there. The next thing we're gonna be putting in is going to be our 1 teaspoon of baking soda. So I have my little measuring spoons here that I like to use. We're gonna find the one for 1 teaspoon. Here it is. And then we're gonna do 1 teaspoon of baking soda. And then the next thing we're gonna be doing is 1 teaspoon of baking powder. I tap it on the side so that it's even, so it's an exact measurement. Put that in there. And then the last thing we're gonna be putting in is the 1/4 teaspoon of salt. It's like a pinch of salt. So you can measure it, or you can just put a pinch in yourself. Here we go. Awesome. And you're gonna mix this up with just one of your beaters so that that salt, baking soda, and all of that is all throughout the flour in your medium-sized bowl. So once you've mixed that flour with that baking soda and that baking powder and that salt, you can just set this medium-sized bowl aside. The next bowl you're gonna grab is a small bowl. We're gonna be mixing our chocolate chips and a little bit of flour to coat them in this size bowl. So like I mentioned, you're gonna take your small bowl, and you're gonna actually add a cup of semi-sweet chocolate chips. So you can take your measuring cup again and fill it up. Add more if you're feeling crazy. So that's about a cup here. Add that to your small bowl. And then you're gonna take 1 tablespoon of flour to coat them. Grabbing out a big scoop here, and you can just start coating these. So once you are done coating those semi-sweet chocolate chips, you can go ahead and set that bowl aside next to that flour bowl you first created. Alrighty guys, the next step, you're going to need a big, large mixing bowl. So grab your biggest bowl in your house, and we are now going to be starting off with our butter. Then we're gonna be adding some sugar, then we'll be adding some eggs, the mashed banana, the lemon, and the vanilla extract all into this big bowl, but you gotta consistently keep beating it. So let's just get into it so you guys can see how I do this. Okay, so the first thing you're gonna be needing is 1 stick of butter. For some reason, Land of the Lakes unsalted butter comes in 2 little 1/4 of a cup. You need 1/2 cup of butter, which is 1 stick. So just grab 1 stick of unsalted butter. No need to make it complicated. You do want this to be room temperature though, so if you want, you can always warm it up in your hands if you don't have time, but it should be fairly soft butter. So you're gonna wanna go ahead and put your butter into this bowl. So you're gonna wanna beat your butter so that it kind of just fills the bottom of your bowl. You do not want your butter to be in a chunk, so just make sure you kind of beat it down. You can kind of see that I'm doing mine here until it kind of just becomes like this thick paste. Tap it out. Awesome. Next thing you're gonna do is you're gonna grab your sugar. You wanna measure a cup of sugar. So going back to that measuring cup, I know, this is the part that gets you. This is where this doesn't get that healthy, but it's better than getting it from, you know, the store. So once you have that cup of sugar, you're gonna start pouring it in slowly as you continue to beat the bowl. So take your time with this, no need to rush it. You want this to be like a sweet buttercream. That is the goal. So take a break if you need to. Add a little bit more. Keep stirring. This is gonna make a really good sweet buttercream. That's why you get that unsalted butter, because we're making it sweet. Next thing you're gonna need is your 2 eggs. You're gonna wanna mix in 1 egg at a time. So I'm gonna crack this egg. Yep. Got your egg in there, and you're gonna mix the first egg in. This is gonna make it a little bit easier to stir the buttercream that you've already made. Once you feel like it's pretty good stirred in there, you don't see any more of that yolk, you're gonna take that next egg and mix that in. Now it should be really nice. Nice yellow color. Just make sure it's mixed pretty well, because we're gonna be mixing in our bananas and vanilla and lemon right after this. So I'm gonna be using in this a banana and a half. I love the taste of banana, so I do wanna really taste that flavor in the bread. So I'm gonna use a banana and a half. I've just put it in a bowl. I'm just gonna use a fork to smash this down so that we can mix it into our big bowl here. And so you can kind of just cut it down however you want, really. There's no proper way to do this, at least I don't think there is, because I don't know that way. So you can just start mashing it. The riper your bananas are, the easier this is. Unfortunately, I just wanted to make this bread. I didn't want to wait that long, so here we are. So what you're gonna do with your mashed bananas now is you can go ahead and add them to your big mixing bowl here. And you're just gonna mix this into the paste. Give this one a good mix too. You wanna make sure that banana taste is all throughout that bread. So the next thing that we're going to be mixing in is our lemon. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is I'm just gonna cut this lemon in half here. We wanna use 2 tablespoons, so I'm just gonna squeeze a half in. The thing is with this, you're better off doing this in a separate bowl so that you can get rid of all those seeds. So I'm just gonna grab another bowl here, and I'm gonna just start squeezing my lemon juice into that bowl. And this is gonna get a little bit messy, but we're baking, so you don't need to worry about it. Just have fun with it, make a mess. You can always clean it up, it's okay. My favorite part about baking is that I get to get messy, but you're making something so delicious. So now I have picked out all the seeds from this. This is probably a little over 2 tablespoons, a half of a lemon, so I'm not gonna pour all of it in. I'm just gonna leave a little bit left over. So they still have a little bit left over in this bowl that you can see. You're gonna mix that into your big mixing bowl. And last but not least, you gotta put in your vanilla extract. Your vanilla extract, you're gonna be measuring about 1.5 teaspoons of your vanilla extract. Vanilla is very strong. If you're gonna be careful with anything, this is what you should be careful with. So opening up my vanilla extract, being very careful with this potion. Gonna do it over the measuring bowl. That's gonna be 1 teaspoon, and there's a half right there. Toss it in. You're gonna pick up that bowl and you're gonna do a little mixaroo again. Make sure it's all good. This is our last and final mix for this big mixing bowl. Well, before we mix everything together. Don't get too carried away or excited, but just make sure that this is all mixed up and really good to go. Alrighty guys, so you are going to be taking that flour, the first medium-sized bowl that we mixed, and you are going to be adding it to your big, large mixing bowl. You're gonna wanna put this in fairly slowly though, and mix it right into the batter until we get our really nice banana batter that we're gonna be mixing our chocolate chips into. So like I mentioned, you're gonna go ahead and grab this big bowl right here, and you're gonna take your medium-sized bowl of flour, and you're gonna slowly mix in that flour as you beat that big bowl. And feel free to take breaks like before. So set it down, really give it a good mix. Okay, add a little bit more, give it another good mix. Careful, this is where flour tends to get fairly messy. Voila, and there you have it. You got your batter and your lightly floured chocolate chips, and it's time to put them in that good old baking sheet. So I'm gonna take some room temperature butter here, and I'm gonna oil down this entire sheet. So I like to do a little bit on the top typically, and I'm using my hands for this. If it freaks you out, I like to just kind of put a little dollop in each little thing like this. And then I'll just go back afterwards and put it everywhere. So you're just gonna wanna take a little bit of flour that we were using before. I'm literally just gonna sprinkle it with my hands. You just wanna take it and kind of sprinkle it all over the pan. This is gonna make sure that those muffins don't stick too much. So just to say, I am super excited that we're making this like cupcake style because then I can take some of the friends, drop it off. It's portioned for me so I don't just go in and eat the whole banana loaf of bread. So I'm excited to make them this way. So once your pan is already prepped with oil and flour, it's time to start filling up each of these holes with the ingredients that we already have mixed. So you should put next to you that big, large bowl of batter. And then you also want to have your chocolate chips nearby that are lightly coated with that flour that we did earlier. So what you're gonna go ahead and do is you're gonna want to fill up basically 1/3 of each of these. And then we're gonna sprinkle some chocolate chips. We're gonna put a little bit more of our batter on top, sprinkle some more chocolate chips, and put a little bit more of our batter on top. Alrighty, so now they have all of them have chocolate chips on the top. I'm gonna take my fork and I'm actually gonna fork them through. So I'm kind of just gonna fork each muffin just to kind of mix them up with the chocolate chips. Alright guys, so now that our muffins were all prepped and ready to go, I popped them into the oven. I'm gonna put them in for 30 minutes because they are in that cupcake shaped form. They're a little bit more smaller and condensed. If you are going to be baking it in a bread style pan, I would suggest probably doing it around like 50 minutes and then checking it with a toothpick. But we're gonna try 30 minutes for these cupcakes and then we can go ahead and try them around maybe like the 25-minute mark and see how they're doing. But for now, let's take a break and we can come back when they're all ready. Alrighty guys, that's the timer, so go ahead and pull your muffins out. I did a toothpick check so I know that they're all ready and good to go. I'm gonna go ahead and lay down this towel and just set them here so that we can pull them out and let them cool. Alrighty, so the nice thing about this is because we put that flour down earlier and buttered the pan, they should pop out pretty easily. I'm gonna try one here. Look at that, it just popped right out of the pan, which is super nice. I probably could have added a little bit more baking soda to give it that nice arch. Missed out on that opportunity, but they still look pretty good. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start placing them on this sheet. So it's officially time for the moment of truth, for the official taste test. So I pulled one out, look at how cute it is and perfect. It's the perfect portion for me. I'm gonna split it open because I wanna see kind of the inside of it. Oh, that's awesome. You can see all the little chocolate chips in there. Alrighty guys, this is the moment of truth, the official taste test. Let's see how I did. Definitely can taste the banana. Wow. I might only need half of these, they're so good. They're rich. Very moist. I would say for the muffins, 30 minutes tops. Definitely. And then if you're gonna do a big pan, check it around like 45, 50 minutes. This is really good, guys. Do you guys ever do a dance when food tastes really good? Because that's how I'm feeling. Alrighty guys, well that wraps it up for our banana chocolate chip muffin slash bread, whatever you decided to make today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys try this recipe, please, please, please comment down below. Let me know how it went. Let me know if you try any variations that I can try. Post your pictures down below. Give this video a thumbs up and a like if you loved it, and definitely go ahead and hit that subscribe button so I can have you back with me every time I repost. It's been wonderful, guys. I loved baking with you. Welcome to the baking series. We'll be back soon. Bye.